Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live today. It is February 19th, and it's Thursday, 2026. And you know what that means? You only have today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get the 2026 Vegan Health Bundle. Now, I've been going live all week long telling people about this amazing deal, the Vegan Health Bundle. If you haven't heard yet, well, you've got 70 amazing items in the bundle worth over $4,500 worth of merchandise, and you can get it for $49. It's a tremendous deal. And all of these items focus on health. They focus on, they're all vegan, but that doesn't matter. The bundle has something in it for everybody. And there are cookbooks. There's so many different recipes. There's spiritual, uplifting videos to watch about loving yourself and loving food. Those are wonderful. I really like those. So all week long, I've been able to talk to the wonderful people that are in the bundle. And I'm very excited and honored to have the lady who puts it all together today so I can talk to her. This is Melissa Maris, and she has multiple things in the bundle. And so I don't know if I'll name them all, so I'll let her. She has Make It Raw 4 with Chef A.J. And then she has a Nori roll one that's beautiful I've looked at, but she's got more. I'll let her tell you. So welcome, Melissa Maris. Thank you so much for joining me. You can go ahead and introduce yourself and say hi.
Aw, thank you so much, Val. This is awesome. I love that we get to connect over the bundle. And I love doing the bundles so much because we all get to connect with each other. We get to do all these lives. There's like so many lives that are happening all over the place from all the different contributors, and people who are watching are learning things like you mentioned, like the mindset stuff and the self-love stuff. Like there's so much that we can talk about over the bundle week. And I just love being a part of the bundle and making it possible for everybody to get the content and to enjoy, all of the great stuff, including your thing. And as you mentioned, we have 6 things. My husband and I, Nate and I, we have 6 things in the bundle because we tend to over deliver. But we have the sushi book, which is the Nori rolls and bowls. There's 160 recipes in there for raw vegan sushi. Then we have Make It Raw 4, as you mentioned. That's the one I wrote with Chef A.J. Her raw authentic black licorice recipe is in there. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Seriously amazing. We have our brand new Raw Vegan Culinary Techniques ebook. It's a 296-page ebook going over raw vegan culinary techniques. So like people who come in to add more raw food. Again, it's not about being all raw. Like you said, there's something for everybody. You don't have to be a raw vegan to enjoy eating raw food, right? Because it's fun to make raw meals every once in a while too, if you're on a whole food plant-based diet. But some people, when they come into raw or they start making raw, they're like, why did you do that? Or what is that technique for? So we go over all of the techniques that we use, like from chopping, blending, spiralizing, what we call kendalizing, which is the freeze thaw method. We talk about dehydration, fermentation, sprouting, soaking, all kinds of stuff, infusion and everything. So all of that plus 55 recipes are in that ebook. And on the recipes that we have in that ebook showcase the techniques that we talk about. So when you learn about spiralizing, you get some spiralizing recipes. When you learn about kendalizing, you get some kendalizing recipes. So you get to, experience it. So there's that. That's the third thing. And then we have Nate's cracker book. So the raw vegan crackers with spreads and dips and things like that. And he also created his new ebook called Full Mast, specifically geared towards men's health and the issues that they have. And finally, we also contributed our 3 classes teaching you how to make the wraps. The most popular recipes of ours is the wraps. So we have a class in there teaching how to batch prep the wraps. You get the recipe, you get to learn how to make the sprouted chickpea mash that we put in the wraps. There's a tostada making class. We teach the fiesta rice, the guacamole, salsa, cashew sour cream, nacho cheese sauce. all kinds of delicious stuff for that, and kale chips. So all of our stuff alone, if you were to buy it all retail, it would be $300, but you get to download everything in the bundle. So it's really great to be part of
Yes. I have been bragging about your husband because when I opened the bundle, one of the first things I was drawn to is his book. I was like, a man wrote a book about becoming vegan. This is so wonderful. I'm halfway through the book, reading it, and I have said in every single live, the thing I like most about the bundle, one of the things is the male presence in our bundle this year, because we also have Chuck Carroll wrote his book of healing, Lost, Found, and Hope, Healing Through Medical Mystery and Escape by Tim Hoffman.
Yes.
Tim Hoffman is an incredible writer. I just started reading it, and just the visual, I don't know, he's just a good writer. He just drew me into his story. I started reading that too, and it's how they healed their body when they changed their diet. And to have 3 books like that in a bundle by the men, I think that's just fabulous. Yeah.
Oh, I agree so much. And my husband, his main mission now in like what he wants to build and kind of the legacy that he wants to share is for men specifically. So he has a school community just for men where dudes can come and they can have a safe place where they can just be guys and learn, in the ways that guys learn, right? So it's so much different to be in there. So he's got that. It's called Full Mast Empire. Because
Wow.
when the flag is full mast, everything's going good. You're living your life to the fullest. But when your flag is half mast, it's like, there's some stuff that's going on, and you want to work on that. So that's his main thing, and he wants more men to come to veganism and especially adding more raw food to their life as well.
Okay, so yeah, I just checked the chat. Here we are talking away. I didn't even bother to pull up the chat. And Stereo Heaven says, greeting Val and Melissa. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and recipes. Thank you for your comment. And Nate, I believe this is your husband, Nathalie.
That's actually, she was in my last live. Her name's Leon. Yeah.
Never mind. It says marathon live and then like a fire.
I love it. I know. Yeah, I was live for like a whole hour before this one, so it's great. I just love the lives. It's my favorite part.
So I made Nate's Crimson Crush hummus.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah. Now his is more red, but mine turned out pink. But that's okay because Melissa and I were talking. Pink is our color.
Exactly.
And the recipe called for soaked chickpeas, but I just used a can of chickpeas.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of, different things. When you read the recipe, you can change it. Speaking of changing, I made the licorice recipe because Chef A.J. has been going on and on and on about it. So I made this actually late last night, but I did some substitutions and it has the texture of licorice. I love that. I don't know. I think I would cut back on the fennel next time. Kind of strong, but it's amazing. It looks like licorice. It has the texture of licorice. Now I use dried apricots because that's what I had in my house. And I think dates are sweeter. So the recipe that's in the book definitely would be sweeter, but what's so cool is the texture. You're like, what?
I know.
Amazed.
You know what's cool about those? And I think if you use the dates, the fennel might not be as strong too, because they balance them out. But the coolest thing about those is that we will make those and take them into the movie theater. Like we just put them in a little bag and take them in. So we have, a really healthy like candy that we get to eat. And it's so cool.
Yeah. And I've seen Chef A.J. brag about that licorice recipe so many times. Very, very cool.
Yeah. We're excited.
Another one of my favorite things, oh my God, I cannot say enough, is Chef Julia Dunaway's whole wheat sourdough bread. Oh. I mean, I've been making sourdough bread for many, many years. I've been making bread for many, many years. I have a sourdough starter, but her techniques and what she does, I have watched her video twice, and then I pulled out my starter and I made my loaf of bread. And this is the lightest, the most risen my sourdough bread has ever done using her techniques. She shows you step by step by step. You can see visually, and that way, because so many people are scared of sourdough bread, right? But she takes you right through it. I love that. So obviously you and Nate's things are your favorites, but some of the other people, what are some of your favorites?
So as raw foodies, we obviously default to the more raw stuff. But we really like Raw Chef Yin's Chinese takeout. So before I went raw, I've been raw now over 11 years. I went raw in 2014. And before then, my kind of go-to default was Chinese food. That was like my absolute favorite thing of all time. And I would always go to the food court and get some. But when I went raw, that was off the table. So I didn't eat that for a really long time. And I have played around with some recipes, like not in the bundle, but there's like the ginger belief that I have instead of ginger beef. It's made with cauliflower. And then I have like a actually the spicy sticky ginger noodle dish is in the Culinary Techniques ebook. So it's one of the spiralizing recipes that people can try. So that's in there too. And it's like one of my favorite ones that's so close to like, that Asian style of takeout. But Raw Chef Yin's course is by far, like, she is such a flavor master. Her sauces are so on point and so good. And it being raw is just unbelievable. So we like her, the two that we make the most out of that one is the beef and broccoli, which uses oyster mushroom instead of the beef. And she has a cashew chicken, which you could use lion's mane mushroom in place.
I love I was going to mention that to you because I know you talk about that too. I love lion's mane mushroom.
Oh my gosh. Lion's mane mushroom is next level. And for those of you watching who do end up buying the vegan health bundle, inside my sushi ebook, I have a whole bunch of pages talking about lion's mane mushroom and how amazing it is and how you can eat it raw. It's not one of those mushrooms that, people think you need to cook or anything. You can eat lion's mane raw. And we have some marinated lion's mane recipes inside the sushi book that you can use inside your sushi rolls or just eat separate. Like we have a katsu recipe, which, when you're peeling that mushroom, it looks like it's cooked chicken. It's unreal. And we also have like a barbecue skewer. So they're, the marinated mushrooms on the skewer. And then, like I said, strips that you can put inside your sushi rolls and stuff like that. But lion's mane is incredible. Seriously.
I love it. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know, what I have in the bundle is Cancer Healing and Prevention with Macrobiotic Principles. It's 4 videos. It's a series that I taught last year, and each one of the classes, each one of the videos is 2 hours long, and it comes with a 65-page booklet because there's a lot of information in there. And so actually during the lives just this week, a few people have asked me, what is macrobiotics? Because some people don't know. And so I talk about that in the first video, and I also have it typed out, and it's, eating as close to nature, which the people in the bundle do the same thing, but it also incorporates the energy of the food. And in the series, I do talk about the energy of the food. And I also talk about many different aspects of when you have the dis-ease of cancer, like how your energy affects your healing process, the words that you speak, the thoughts that you have. Because in Oriental medicine, they teach us that any dis-ease that you have in your body has an emotional starting point. And when you're on a healing journey, that's part of your journey. So I went through that in, my contribution to the bundle. And my greatest success story is that my dad, 20 years ago, had prostate cancer. And he was diagnosed. And I went to my mom and dad and said, what do you want to do? I can help you if you want. So I taught my mom and dad how to do macrobiotic cooking. And my dad went strict. He had no medical intervention whatsoever.
Wow.
And when he did that, he told his doctor, well, my daughter's this macrobiotic chef, and I'm going to do that. And the doctor said, well, you can do that, but that won't make any difference. And my dad overcame the prostate cancer, and he's been cancer-free ever since. So that's my greatest success story right there. Yeah. But what's in the bundle is great is that there's my contribution, but then Melissa says there's raw in there. And then there's a combination of raw and cooked. And Chef Yin is raw, yet when I talked to her last night, she made my arame dish that's in my contribution. And so there's just such a wide variety, and there's something in the bundle for everybody, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And another thing that I really like about the bundle is the summit access.
Okay.
There's 3 summits in the bundle. There's Chef A.J's Plant Powered Party, which Nate and we did a culinary demo at here in Vegas. We rolled up the wraps and she ate them on stage. It was just really fun. So if you buy the bundle, watch those videos for the Plant Powered Party. Chris Wark and Dr. Furman, Dr. Goldhammer, Will Bolsewicz, they all did talks. So those are all accessible. Then there's the 5 talks from the Holistic Holiday at Sea cruise. So, Chris Wark again, Michael Greger, Columbus Batiste, James Loomis is in there too. So there's those. And then there's Dr. Ray Aputi's Beat the Silent Killers Summit videos as well. So it's like there's so much video content in this bundle. So it's really great for people to be able to consume the content while they're chopping their veggies or preparing their food or making a recipe from the bundle. It's such a really beautiful bundle this year.
Absolutely. Yes, the bundle is great. And I also wanted to talk to you, Melissa, a little bit so we get to know you. I had sent you an email telling you that I watched your interview, you and your husband Nate, on YouTube channel, Chris Beats Cancer, which is a great YouTube channel, by the way. You can go and subscribe to that. And the story that Nate told about how he fell in love with you is just the most wonderful thing. It's just so heartwarming. You got to go. If you're listening to this video, if you're watching Melissa and I, just go there and listen to Nate tell it. But what I was wondering while I was watching this, what was Melissa's side of that? Like, okay, so Nate wanted to go raw vegan and he started following Lissa's YouTube channel and everything. Now, did you notice somebody commenting on your videos all the time? Did you notice him before you guys met?
So I love that you asked this. This is great. So I did not know who he was. So actually 2 days ago was Nate's 9-year raw vegan anniversary. On February 17th. That's when he bought my book, which was super cool. That was, over the bundle. But he would comment once in a while, but I get hundreds of comments a day. So sometimes you don't see, unless somebody's commenting over and over and over again, like Natalie Leone, who commented here in your chat. She was on my live and I see her often in mine. So, you get to learn about the people, but I didn't connect Nate. I know he commented on some of my stuff, but we weren't in connection or anything like that. And then, so what happened was he would have bought my book. And then about 6 months later, he would have lost all his weight, or 7 months or something like that. And he went to the Woodstock Fruit Festival it would have been 2017. And at that festival, I was actually going to go to that festival specifically, but I had to shoot a wedding because I was a wedding boudoir family newborn photographer. So I had already had a bunch of weddings booked. And the wedding was too close to go to that festival, so I didn't go. But Nate went with his mom that year, and I had gone to Costa Rica to visit one of our other raw foodie friends. His name's Jack, and he was living in Costa Rica at the time, and I wanted a Costa Rica holiday. I had just split with my ex, and I was like, I need to travel. So I went to visit Jack, and we made smoothies together, and he took me to the volcano and stuff. So Nate obviously was watching those videos because I made some videos when I was in Costa Rica, and he's watching my Instagram. And he was friends with Jack, and he really liked Jack's posts and stuff. He's Raw Tropical Living on Instagram. And so he really resonated with Jack and knew that we were friends. So when he went to Woodstock, Jack was at Woodstock at the same time. And Nate and him connected like towards the last days, and they sat on the grass for like 4 hours talking about Raw and all kinds of stuff. And Jack was like, "Oh, you bought Lissa's book?" And Nate, knowing that me and Jack were friends, he was like, "Yeah, Lissa changed my life and it was so great," and blah. So Jack sends me a message and it's like, "Hey, I like met this guy at Woodstock who used your book and lost all this weight. You should interview him for your YouTube channel." And I was like, "Okay, sure, hook me up. I'll like interview him." So then Nate messaged me as well. So I got Jack's message and Nate's message, and Nate was like, "I love you. You're amazing." Jack.
The first message he sends you, and you guys don't even know each other, is "I love you. You're amazing."
Yeah, because I changed his life, I guess, so he's like, you're awesome or whatever. So we set up a date to do this. It's just like you and I are doing here. We're like, oh yeah, let's get on. We were doing what was it called? I can't even remember what platform we were using back in the day. But anyways, we connected on there. And when we were doing the interview, I was asking him like, how hard was it? What was your biggest change? What did you experience? I was asking just like how he felt about my meal plan. And the whole time he's answering, I'm just like, damn, I'm in trouble. Cause I was like really connected to him on that live, and I'm giggling and everything. And later after the fact, once we got together, people would be like, oh, I could totally tell that you were like crushing on him in that video. It was the very first time that I'd ever seen him, and we'd only talked like maybe a couple times on Instagram setting up the Zoom or whatever, Skype. It was Skype. And I was like, yeah, but he was in the United States and he had just gotten out of a relationship. And I was, not really freshly out of a relationship, but I had left my ex of like 12 years or whatever. And I knew, like, I was in Canada, he's in the United States. I'm like, how is that going to work? And plus I knew through the grapevine that he was, like crushing on someone else and everything. So I was like, whatever, it is what it is. And so but then that night we started chatting and texting a lot back and forth on Instagram. And we got to be really good friends. And I was just like, I'd heat up every time he'd send me a message. And I'm like, oh my God. And then eventually it got to the point where it was like, we were obviously going to start a thing. So so my friend, Chandra, she had this technology that she created with her business partner, where they had this software where a doctor could take your MRI of your body and put it into a virtual reality. So the doctor could practice the surgery on your body scans. So they could like make sure that they're cutting in the right spot. Cause you know how sometimes like people's eyes are too close together or too far apart. Just the same as with the arteries. Sometimes the arteries moved over like even just an inch or a centimeter. And if they cut in the wrong spot, it can cause a medical error. So this technology she had, which was amazing, she was going to Vegas, and I was in Canada at the time, and they were going to present this technology at the Consumer Electronics Show. And she was like, I need a booth, babe. Can you come and like man the booth for me while I do all these interviews and stuff with like NASA and everything? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll go to Vegas and I'll stand at your booth for you and whatever. And she knew that I had a crush on Nate. And she's like, well, he's in Oregon. Why doesn't he come down to Vegas too? And you guys can like man the booth together. I was like, okay. So I told Nate, and he bought his tickets right away. I didn't have my tickets yet, but he bought his tickets and told me, he's like, I got my tickets. And he sent me his itinerary. And I went to the travel agent and I was like, can you get me on this flight? And the travel agent got me on that flight in the seat next to him.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. So I flew into Portland and we got on the same plane and flew to Vegas. And that was basically the start of everything, because we were just like, we fell so hard for each other. And yeah, ever since then, it's been an amazing ride. But that would be my story.
That is such a heartfelt story. That has got to be either you or Nate have got to write that and put that in a book. You've got to tell your story in a book. And I was thinking too, Wouldn't it be so awesome if you still had that Skype video of the first time you guys met?
It's on my YouTube channel.
It is. I know it. I'm gonna go look for it.
Yeah, it's got a blue cover. There's like on one side it says like 60-pound weight loss or something, and then it's Nate with his before and after. It would be probably from December 2017 if you can search by date. But it's up there. It's still there. And I have like these phones and
that is just really nice. And it's so I don't know what the words to use. It's heartfelt. It's warming to us watching, because on Instagram, I think you posted some pictures when it was your anniversary and you were like, the background was beautiful. I don't know where you live, but it was like mountains or something. And the two of you were like hugging in some of the pictures and some of the other pictures. And I'm like, that is just so beautiful. Like, yeah, I didn't even get a chance. Where do you live? Like, where do you guys live?
we live in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So that's why Chef A.J. likes to do the plant-powered party here, because she's like, you already live there, so it's easy for you. I'm like, you're so sweet. But we moved to Las Vegas about 5 years ago, give or take. And I moved from Canada. So I was born and raised in Edmonton, Alberta. And I lived until I was 39 in Edmonton. And when I met Nate, I would fly down to the United States for about 3 weeks because I was a freelance photographer. I had really good like leniency with my schedule, and plus I was doing raw food romance, so I was online influencing and stuff. So I had a lot of time that I could date him in the United States. So I would fly down to Oregon. That's where Nate was. He grew up mostly in Oregon. He lived there for like 30 years. He has 2 grown boys. They're like 25 and 23 right now. And so I would fly down for about 3 weeks, hang out with him, and then I would fly back to Canada, and I'd be in Canada for about a month, and then I'd fly back to visit him. And we did that for about 6 months, and then we were like, okay, well, how are we going to continue this? Because one of us is going to have to move eventually if we want to like actually be together. So because I didn't have a solid job per se, like I obviously was making money, but I didn't have like a job that I was tied to. I didn't have any kids. I have my family and my friends, but I'm pretty much a free bird. Like I could go anywhere I wanted to. Whereas Nate still had younger kids. They were 14 and 16 at the time. They were still in school. He worked at the hospital as a nursing assistant, stuff like that. So he was still he had more ties to Oregon. So I was like, I'll move to the United States. I just want to be with you. I don't care. So we started the fiance visa process. So that was, the whole immigration thing. In total, it took about 6 years, and it was roughly around $20,000 all said and done with the lawyers, all the tests, and, I had to go to Montreal to get my interview, and I had to have a doctor exam and all kinds of stuff. So all said and done, it was around 20 grand, and it took 6 years. And then I finally got naturalized almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in May when I got naturalized as a United States citizen. So yeah, it's been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride. Yeah. So Canada, I love Canada. I said too, like my mom's mom, my grandmother is French Canadian.
Yes.
Tibbets. She's from
Okay.
Tibbets in Canada. And so I have some background, but I have to ask you this question about Canada. Do you watch the show Heartland?
No, but I have heard of it.
Yeah. So, oh my God. I don't watch, I turned my television off 4 years ago. I do not watch TV, but I watch Heartland on a streaming platform now. They're in their 19th season. I have been watching it from day one because oh my God, it's the Rocky Mountains in Canada. So when you're watching the show, it's a good show, but the background is just so beautiful. And it's horses, which I love horses. It's centered around horses, and it's a wholesome family show. There's no killing, there's no swearing, none of that crap. So it's like the only show that I still will watch religiously, and just where it's set in Canada is just gorgeous. It really is. Now, where you were living, were you in the mountains?
So I was living in Edmonton, Alberta, which would have been like if you were to take one of the highways, the closest and fastest way to get to the mountains was about 3.5 hour drive to Jasper, Alberta. So that would be the closest way. But there was also another way you could drive down south to Calgary and then cut over to go to Banff. So that would be the Rockies, Jasper or Banff. But to get to Jasper was only 3.5 hour drive from where I was living. But where I was living, there were no mountains. It was flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think this is so incredibly interesting. I was watching your live and you mentioned that you did your ancestor test and found out that you have a background in Scotland, and my background is in England. And I like to pull up YouTube videos that tell the history. Right now I'm into Henry VIII. And I've just been listening to all these. And so actually last night I watched a video all about Mary Queen of Scots, because she's in that family too and everything. I mean, I've been interested in this for years, but it's really cool to have YouTube because you can pull up these videos and listen to the history. Yeah, so you found out your aunts, and you can go back. Tell everybody, how far can you go back? That's amazing.
So for the vast majority of my life, until I discovered this when I was 44, so just about 2 years ago. We were watching Outlander. Have you seen that show or heard of that show?
I have not. I know the premise of the storyline, but no, I haven't seen the show.
Okay, so yeah, the show Outlander, they're doing their 8th season, the final season, starting like anytime now. We're like so excited to watch it. It's such a good show. But while we were watching that, I was just like really, really drawn to just Scotland in general. And because most of it's set in the 1700s. So it's like really like, that old kind of like vibe. And I was just so drawn into it. And I remember, my mom maybe mentioning it, that my grandpa had a little bit of Scottish in him. And that was it. I was under the impression, I know from my dad's side that there's a lot of German in there. So I was like German. And then my mom would always talk about her great grandparents who came over from the Azores, which is part of Portugal. So I was like, okay, I always thought I was Portuguese and German with a little bit of like Welsh, Irish, Scottish in there. Like I never had a culture growing up. We were just Canadian. That was it. And we didn't have any like, there's like the Ukrainians have their Ukrainian grandma, and like, cultures have their thing, but we didn't have anything. It was just Canadian, and we just lived and existed. So I would always feel jealous of my friends who had cultures or who had grandparents that taught them that stuff. And I just didn't have that. So when I was watching Outlander, I was really drawn to Scotland in general. And I was like, I wonder how much Scottish I have in me. So I did the ancestry. It was like 20. No, it wasn't the 23andMe. It was ancestry.com. I did that one. And I asked my mom tons of questions. Like all my grandparents have passed away, so I can't ask them anything. But I asked my mom whatever she could remember. And I managed to get on my mother's side. Her mother traces all the way back to King James IV illegitimately, but like he wasn't with the British Margaret Tudor. He was with this other Margaret Drummond.
Yeah.
And they had a daughter named Margaret Drummond, who eventually married her uncle, and they had my grandmother's line. So she was an illegitimate princess, but the king treated her like a princess in his court. So she was like high royal value, but it wasn't like the actual legitimate, line. So there was that. And then I was like following my grandfather's line, and eventually I got back to King James I, also illegitimate. He had a relationship with a woman, and all of his kids, there was like 6 kids or something, and they all had the last name Jameson, which would be James' son, right? Because they couldn't take the Stuart last name. Neither could Margaret. Like none of them could have the Stuart last name, but it's Stuart blood, which was really interesting. So when I found that out, it was like my grandfather came from King James I, and my grandmother came from King James IV, and they got together and had my mom. So it was just like, it was mind-boggling to discover all of that information. And it's sad that I don't have my grandparents where I could talk to them about it and be like, what did your great grandparents tell you about life and everything? But now that I have that information, it's just really cool, because now I feel like I have a heritage that I can look back to. And I've practiced making a couple Scottish things, the raw vegan version.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun. But yeah, it's just been really cool. I'm like so into like that kind of era of the 1600s, the 1500s, all that kind of stuff. It really intrigues me, and that's why I like shows that are set in that time too.
Yes, I'm drawn to that time period too. And my ancestors are from England.
Mhm.
And so I've made a vegan version of crumpets, a vegan version of pasties. So I like doing that too. Like, taking the old recipes and changing them and converting them. I really enjoy doing that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I also want to ask you, you have the best name for your business. Raw Food Romance. I'm like, that just rolls off the tongue. It's memorable, and it just paints this beautiful picture, romance and everything. How did you come up with that?
Oh, I love your questions, Val. These are great. Oh, I love this. So, Raw Food Romance started. I went raw in 2014. I committed to raw in 2014, but I knew about raw in 2004. So I learned about raw foodie stuff in 2004 to 2014. I would like try to do raw, but I would always be doing like a high fat, low calorie version. I always be hungry and like I'd have cravings, and I just was never able to sustain it because I was just not doing it properly. When in 2014 I went raw, I did the low fat version. But during those 10 years, I would always be like, I was so drawn to raw food. Like it just made so much sense to me. And I wanted to eat raw food, but I could never make it work. So in 2010, I had this brilliant idea that I was going to start a Twitter account. And every single day, I was going to post an affirmation to myself, but I was just going to post it, for anyone else to read. Right. And I came up with the name Raw Food Romance because I was a photographer for, just over a decade. I was a freelance photographer, and I do a lot of boudoir photography. So a lot of romantic stuff, like women would come and they would want to get like pictures in their lingerie for their husband, or just to feel like a woman, just keep the pictures private. And they just wanted that like feeling. So and then tie it in with the 1700s like cupcakes and teapots and all that kind of stuff. I like pink, like you said, pink is our color, so everything's like pink. And I was really into like the 1950s like pinup girl stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would do that. Like my photography business was very like romanticized, lots of roses and pastel colors and sheer stuff and lace and everything. I was like so into that. Still am. But I like the chair that I sit in for a lot of my YouTube videos. That's the chair that I bought for my photography studio when I was doing boudoir photography in Canada. And so I still use it, and people remember it from way back then. But the whole romance vibe that I would have, I wanted that to come through with raw food, because what I wanted to do originally was tie my love of photography with my love of raw food. So it was
you did that, Melissa.
Yeah. So I was like, raw food romance. I'm having a romance with raw food.
Yes.
And falling in love with real food. So that was like my whole idea. And then for 4 years, from when I started in 2010, for the next 4 years, I'd fall off and I'd stop posting or whatever. But then in 2014, that's when I finally went vegan. I watched Earthlings, Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives all in one day, and I was instantly vegan. And I think that's what really made it stick, that with the low fat lifestyle, oil free, that made it stick. I was eating enough, I was feeling amazing, I was satiated, I was nourished, and I could enjoy those raw foods in abundance. I was no longer restricting myself. And then about 5 months after I went raw, I started my YouTube channel, and I was like, I'll just use Raw Food Romance because I already had the Twitter account. So I went with it.
Yeah. And so I've said in previous lives that I've done with them, when So Melissa Maris's cookbooks the pictures could just be framed and hung on your wall. You just open up her cookbook just to look at it, because your pictures are extraordinary. I mean, and your background. Me, I take a picture of the food and I'm like, here it is. And it's like, wah, wah, but I don't have a background in photography. But your pictures are so beautiful. They really, really are. They're wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that just shows through, because it's one of my deepest passions. I'm actually a really creative person. I do a lot of, well, I don't do a lot of, but I wish I did a lot of painting and pencil drawing, and I'm really into the arts. So anything artsy, I'm all about. And the photography was a great way back in the day for me to have a skill, an art skill that I could provide to people, because I did a lot of painting and stuff, but it didn't sell back then because I didn't have an audience base or anything like that. I'm like a teenager doing paintings, but it was a passion. But when I discovered that I could do photography as a career, I went with that, and I just found it so amazing to have that.
Wonderful. I've been in food since I've been 17 years old. This has been my life's passion, food. Of course, my mom likes to tell the story when I was 9 years old is when I created my first recipe. Aww. So even before that, I adore food. I love food. And I just like you, I still go in the kitchen and create brand new recipes all the time. And I get excited about food, the different tastes and textures and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Yes, but let's go back to the bundle.
Yes, there's only 3 days after today to buy it.
Okay, so did it pop up? There it is. There's this.
Look at that.
You click on the link. Even if you're thinking about buying the bundle, just click on the link. It'll take you to this website where you'll be able to see everything. So some people think if they click on the button, they're just automatically going to buy it. No, it's going to take you to this website. Look at here. We got 3 days and 10 hours. You got to act quick.
And I made that video. I made that video up there.
Yes.
One more.
Oh, yeah.
That one right there. I made that video the day before the bundle launched.
Your videos are amazing too. I don't know how to make videos. I don't know how to edit videos. That goes beyond me. Here is the wonderful things that are in the bundle. There's your husband, Nate, and his book that he wrote. And here's the two of you. And we have Chef A.J. This is the party that you were telling us about. Mm-hmm. And here's Chef Raw Chef Yin, such a sweetheart.
She is.
Yeah. Here's another one of the male books, Escape, Healing Journey. I made his oil-free vegan sauce, the turmeric tahini sauce with fresh turmeric. I adore fresh turmeric. So very, very good.
Amazing.
Here's your classes.
Yes.
And there's what I put in the bundle, cancer healing.
Side by side.
Oh, yeah, we're right next to each other. Oh. And here's Nate. And Nate's, do you help him with his photography? Because his cookbooks are beautiful too.
Oh, thank you. He learned from the best, but he took all the pictures himself.
Oh, wow. Because his cookbook is beautiful too.
Yeah, he's skilled. He's got that creative eye. But we have, like we buy the, they're like backdrops kind of, and we set it up, and then we like to place little things around the food just to make it interesting. But yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And here's your sushi and nori roll and bowls. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to chime in and mention that you like in the bundle?
I really like Melanie Joy's Effective Vegan Activism. That's really good for those who are looking to be more activist-like, or learn how, even if you don't want to be an activist, you can watch that and learn how to have conversations with people in your life about veganism. So that's a really good one.
Here's Chef Julia's sourdough class.
Yes, and pizza. I mean, who doesn't like pizza, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and Connie DeCramer is such a sweetheart. She's got very calming. Her videos are very calming and peaceful. I really like her videos. Very nice.
And Namado from Kiko there, Kiko and I are really good friends. And her book, I've had multiple people tell me that they couldn't put it down. It's her story with raw food.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it yet. That's why I love talking to you guys too, because when you talk to other people in the bundle, they recommend things and I got to go look at that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, we got Sid.
Oh, yep.
Yep. And then more stuff from Tim. Tim contributed 3 things to the bundle.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And Lori Laundrie, she's such a sweet lady too. I made her brownies with sweet potato and beans.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, and here's our yoga. I love yoga. I do yoga. And I did pull up her video and take a look at it. Very calming, peaceful yoga.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another raw thing from Samantha, raw recipes for energy and mental clarity.
Right here. Yep.
She's awesome.
Oh, this one here. Oh, fermented food. Oh, I made her fermented turmeric root.
Oh, cool. I was live with Nicole yesterday, and she's doing raw for Lent. So she was like, oh, it's the second day or whatever. And so she asked me questions about going raw, which was really fun.
I am talking to her Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I love fermented food. In fact, I just packaged sauerkraut. I made a huge batch of sauerkraut. It's been fermenting for 4 weeks, and I just put it in jars today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're huge fermented fans too. Like inside the Raw Vegan Culinary Techniques ebook that we have a bunch of recipes. We have 5 recipes for sauerkraut. There's the ranchy beets, which I'm obsessed with, the microbiome kimchi, and the unpasteurized tempeh.
Ooh, you guys make tempeh from scratch?
Heck yeah, we do.
Oh,
that's the Culinary Techniques ebook. As long as you have an Instant Pot and you can buy the starter, all the links to all the stuff that we use is in the book. So you can make your own unpasteurized tempeh. It's so good.
There is a place that here in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, that makes tempeh homemade. Oh my God. It just blows the store-bought tempeh like out of the water. It is just so absolutely delicious. Yes.
It's so good too because it's unpasteurized. So it's less bitter. It's alive, for one. That's why we have it on our raw food diet, because we're raw food and living food eaters. So we do the tempeh. But all the tempeh that you buy in the store is all pasteurized.
They put it in the store. Yep.
Yep, exactly. For food safety, which is understandable. But yeah, if you can find a place that does unpasteurized, it's like there's no store-bought tempeh can hold a candle to unpasteurized homemade tempeh.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah, definitely make some. Yeah, the recipe's in there, and we make it multiple times a month. So we've really got the process down. But different people have different ways of doing the tempeh, but this is our way and it works really well. So yeah.
I wanted to mention The Inner Life of Vegan Health by Reverend Dina and MQ. This is really nice. They're both such sweet ladies, and dealing with the spiritual side of things and the energy and everything. They're very nice ladies. I really like them. Had a great time. Now here's the ice cream by Raw Chef Yen.
Yes, for those that have a creamy. And you could actually use a food processor or a Vitamix to make her recipes too if you don't have a creamy.
Lori Laundrie said she's going to try making the ice cream with her food processor.
Yeah, I think it would work. It obviously wouldn't have the same consistency, but it will work, just blending it all together. Oh my gosh. Yin is so good with flavor. Yeah. Yeah, all of this, everybody you get. Oh, there's the Chris Kendall one. He's our friend. We co-organized the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle that comes in May. But he does retreats in like Costa Rica, and this recipe book is all the recipes that he makes for his retreats. They're all raw, which is so cool. And then there's Chuck's book that you were mentioning.
Yep.
Keynote talks from the cruise, and everything you see here, everybody, you get $49. All you pay is $49. You can download it all.
$49. This is amazing. But have we said it? I think we did at the beginning, but you only have until Sunday, February 22nd.
Yep.
And yes, you got to click the link and check out the bundle. Oh, let's see, we got a comment. I'm about to get into fermenting my own stuff. I recently just got some kimchi from a farm in Maryland when I went to go see my sister-in-law, and it was the best I've ever I've ever had, and now I'm obsessed. And that's from RAS Reslion.
Oh, Ross Lyon. That's another one from my channel. Hey.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, ladies, for tuning in. Now, I know kimchi is fantastic for you. It's so healthy. It's too spicy. I can't handle it.
You can do kimchi and just use less of the spice. And it's more like, it would be more like a sauerkraut. But yeah, you can definitely use like half the amount of spices or even a quarter the amount of spices.
I would use like none.
Oh man, we're like, if we ever make you food, we'll have to really alter our recipes because Nate and I like it hot.
I know. And I always tell my students in the cooking class, everybody's different. If you like spicy food, kick it up.
Yeah.
I don't like the fermented turmeric. Look at that.
Oh yeah, look at that. That is so cool.
This even has like a bite to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, but
turmeric naturally has kind of a little intensity to it. Yeah.
I adore turmeric, fresh turmeric. I've been using it for so long. This, and look at the color of this. This is the tahini turmeric sauce where I used fresh turmeric in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I use fresh turmeric all the time.
I love how many recipes and different things you can make in the bundle. It's just endless.
Endless. And I tell people it's giving yourself a gift all year. Of course, you're going to have it forever because you just download it. But there's so many things in the bundle. I tell people, consider it a gift to yourself. And then once a week, go into the bundle and open something new and explore it. And then it's like giving yourself a gift every week, different thing. Because some people get overwhelmed and they're like, oh my God, there's 7. Well, don't get overwhelmed. Like I put mine on a flash drive. You know, so a flash drive, it's so easy. You know, you just stick it in there, you just pull it up, and you know, you just look at a cookbook or you read one of the stories, or if you're going to relax, you just sit back and relax, and you could pull up one of Connie DeCramer's videos, and you know, you would have like a calming, peaceful time where you were watching one of her videos. There's just so much in the bundle.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, everybody who does buy the bundle, again, you have 1 year to download all the content. But once you download it, you can access it for as long as you keep the files. Like you can, you know, 2 years down the road, you can open it. I had somebody buy the bundle and was like, you know, if you think about it, it's only $4 a month for a year. It's like, it's not that much. And, you know, 70 downloads, that ends up being like 60 to 70 cents a piece, when a lot of the things in the bundle sell for hundreds of dollars. Or like, you know, they're in the, like our Raw Vegan Culinary Techniques ebook, for example, retails for $40 if you were to buy it separately, but you get it when you buy the bundle. So you're getting over, I think the total amount for everything, if you were to buy everything separately, it would cost you $4,638.
Wow.
But it's over 98% off right now. 3 days left. Link is in the description box, right?
Absolutely. And then Roz Lion said it was spicy, but not over the top. And the veggies were so soft and delicious about the kimchi.
Oh, yeah. I know kimchi, sauerkraut, those ranchy beets. Oh my gosh, the ranchy beets are by far one of my favorite things. I look forward to dinner every night just for the beets.
So is that fermented beets?
Yeah, there's a recipe in the Culinary Techniques ebook.
Culinary Technique cookbook is where you find that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love beets. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. Any last minute thoughts or things you wanted to say?
I'm just really grateful for you and everybody for joining the bundle and putting all the time in creating your products and, you know, serving others and sharing your wisdom. helping change the world, because you know that saying, be the change you want to see in the world, right? So I'm just so appreciative for you, Val, and everyone else, and especially Chef AJ, because she co-organizes it with me. And it's just such an amazing event, and I hope people can go enjoy the bundle. And I know we talk about it endlessly, but it's so crazy how many people message at the end and they're like, oh, I meant to get it, I wanted to get it, I saw it, but I just didn't get it. I'm like, just click the link right now and go buy it. It takes literally like 10 seconds to do that. And then you have a whole year to download it. So you don't have to worry about downloading it instantly. But it's there for you, and there's only 3 days left. So we talk about it so much because we want to catch as many people as possible who this could really implement their or change their life if they implement it. And I've had multiple people over the years say that buying the bundle changed their life because they actually they felt like they had support, they felt like they had variety, they felt like they got more knowledge, and they could connect with other creators. It's a great way to find other people to follow and get inspired by. So yeah, I'm just overall super grateful for everybody who contributes to the bundle. And thank you, Val, for being you.
Thanks. And Barbara MD9 says, thanks so much for this highly entertaining show. Already bought the bundle. Wish I could buy via each of your links.
Aw.
So nice. And Raslan Lion, I know I'm pronouncing that. It's R-A-S.
Ross Lyon.
Yeah, Ras Lion. I will be following you now, Val. Glad to meet you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that very much. And I appreciate Melissa and all the hard work that she does to put this bundle together, and Chef AJ for being the inspiration and really getting the word out there. Both the two of you together, like, put this bundle together. And this is the 4th year I've been a part of it. And what I really love about the bundle is the beautiful people that are in the bundle. Every person that I have met in the bundle, when we do this week-long thing where we're interviewing and talking to each other, every person has a beautiful energy, a beautiful soul, and their intention comes from their heart. Yeah. We just want to help people. We want to share the knowledge that we have with you. We want you to feel better, have more energy. That's where all the intention comes from all of the people, and everybody in the bundle. All of them are there for you. Like you said, a support mechanism. So even after you buy the bundle, you've got email addresses and websites and everything. Oh, I forgot to ask Melissa, tell everybody where to follow you on Instagram. Although I have the links in the description, but you can say it too. Instagram, and you have a YouTube channel, and anywhere else.
Yeah, thank you. So on Instagram, that's where I'm most active, at Raw Food Romance. It's Raw Food Romance pretty much everywhere. But YouTube is Lissa's Raw Food Romance, Lissa. Like, my actual name is Melissa, but I go by Lissa on social media. And so yeah, YouTube, Lissa's Raw Food Romance, Instagram at Raw Food Romance. I have a Substack, Raw Food Romance at .substack.com, where I do articles in there. We have an online meal planning app at rawfoodromance.com. We have a school community on school.com where we do our live raw food classes, and there's other recipes in there. It's a great community of people. So if people are looking for, they want to hang out with us in the kitchen, the school community is one of the best places. And then on our Instagram, in the link in our bio, there's all kinds of links to all kinds of other stuff. Is it like our ebooks, our wrap book, our sushi book, burger book, all of that is all available over there.
Nice. I have a Substack blog. I didn't know you did. And Chef Julia does too.
Yeah, Substack is really gaining a lot of popularity in the last, I'd say, year or so. I want to be a lot more consistent on Substack, but I love creative writing. So it's a great place to just like write, just whatever's on your mind.
And Chef Julia puts her videos there too, which I have not looked into yet, but there's that option too. Yeah.
Yeah. Videos and podcasts and stuff. So yeah, it's more of a creative place, I feel, if anything, but it's really great.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, Melissa. And tomorrow I'm talking with your husband, Nate.
Yes.
It's 1:00 Eastern time.
Right. So that
I'm
would
looking
be
forward
11 a.m. for us.
11 a.m. Pacific. Yes.
I think, or 10. I don't remember now. 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
Looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and thank you for your comments. Greatly appreciate it. And click the link and get the bundle.
Yes, get the bundle. Enjoy all the
And, yep. And get in the kitchen.